Hello everyone, so I'm going to give a little breakdown and some meaning to motion found within the sword and hammer. The sword and hammer is the basis of where your punching and kicking and understanding of motions come from within the Te systems. And in there we have some really cool motions, understanding and flow patterns and techniques out of it. So one of the motions out of that is this particular hand, right? Now if the man is taller than you, your wrist is going to be facing upward, right? Unless you're going for his chest. So this hand here can either be done with this motion here or facing slightly upward. If we're doing this hand here, you got to be careful too, because you could hurt your wrist if you're actually punching the bag with that, in some cases. When we get into that motion, the most important thing is to open the door. And what do I mean by opening the door? Is keeping your foot open as opposed to closed trying to do that motion. The foot has to be open to be able to enter. You're not going to be able to slide in out of a side horse, because then you're working your lower body against your upper body. So you have to keep that front door open as you're doing it, right, with that particular technique. And there's many different ways we could get into that technique out of the form. It's just not one way. There's no such thing as one way in the art of Te. There's 101 ways, yes, but never just one way. So as we're going through the form and you have your punch, for those people who have practiced it before and have been in the art, you have your punch, and your turn. That could be 2 vertical punches, 2 horizontal punches, and then a torque at the end. And that torque at the end is from a wrist release, where if the man is grabbing your wrist, you're releasing it and then coming in with that double shot right away. That's what that's for. Also from here is to override, if the man does happen to grab your hand up here, to override his hand, peel his hand out of the way, and come in with that punch. So there's many different options and understandings behind that 2-punch attack. When we're coming in with that, you can see that we could generate that motion from a circle, coming in this position, blocking and firing. That motion there to over here, we're moving and we're firing, could be if the man might be throwing a punch at us and we're knocking his hand out of the way, and then we're coming in with the punch. And that could be done on both sides. You could hit on both sides. It's just not a one-sided deal. So what does that motion teaches us? It teaches us that that circular motion could come in with the punch. See, from in here, you circle and you punch. Now if I'm coming in on this angle, I can come in on that angle with the strike, right? So where we have this type of a motion coming from this motion here. It could also be done to where, I'm going to get into some different hand techniques here, to where after we punch, we could bring these hands down. So we punch, we bring these hands down to where now we're knocking his defense, or we're hitting him in the face, and we're coming down across and across. And that motion there is this type. And it's relying heavily on circles and oval patterns found within the form. Because throughout the sword and hammer, you'll see a circle, right? You'll see this type of a motion. You'll see this type of a motion. And what are we doing? We're doing circles that could go in one direction and the other direction. From a circular, could come a linear, can come from oval patterns, can come from checking and then hitting, and so forth and so forth. But this is just a basic preview of what some of the motions are coming out of the form. So we're here, we could come in 1, 2, and 3 out of this. We could also come in 1, 2, and 3, coming in with that strike, because this could even be a double strike to the face if you're coming in with that. Right? That particular motion there, as we're doing it, could also be a circular motion, a circular twin hammer motion. It could also be a circular in motion of striking. It could be done open-handed. It could be done in reverse, open, and then reverse that motion. You see, it could be done to where we're striking, grabbing, and then throwing the person down, or throwing the person over our leg. So from this motion here, it could also be to where maybe you get backed up into the wall, the man is coming at us, and we're using that technique. We're springing off this leg and shooting the kick at the double punch at the same time. So it's that motion coming into the crotch and hitting the man at the same time with the hands. Maybe you miss with the kick and you have to step forward with a jump in coming with that motion. That's why you have a shuffle. You could do it off a jump. You could do it off a kick. You could be to where maybe you're tying your shoe, the man is coming up with the attack, or maybe he's throwing a kick, and then you come up with that strike. So there's many different ways to that simple understanding of the twin